So we're here in Tonypandy, in a beautiful day, an amazing development here. This is a redevelopment of a derelict site.
This is a town centre regeneration project. We've been working on it all in about 7 years.
Wow.
And we've invited key stakeholders here today to have a preview of what our finished scheme is going to look like in about 6 weeks' time when our residents move in. The scheme comprises of 51 affordable homes. They've been funded by Welsh Government's social housing grant. They're all for affordable rent, all meet all of the sustainability standards set by Welsh Government, EPCA and so on. And we're also delivering in true placemaking style a 11,000 square foot of commercial space. So that's adding much needed new high quality, I guess, commercial and retail space on the high street in Tonypandy.
Firstly, we've got to mention, got a huge solar PV system, a sole share. So that means it can direct the power amongst all the different homes evenly and fairly. But it's also got a sedum roof here, which I think is lovely. So the joy of a sedum roof is it provides a nature environment, it absorbs water in high rainfall and delays that going in, so it helps with flooding. But also it's under the PV as well here, under the solar. And so it actually provides a cooling effect to make this panels more efficient altogether. A really nice site here using classic regeneration to bring back new retail opportunities, new housing opportunities and supported living opportunities.
So a key part of our strategy from day one and our vision for this site was about complementing what's already happening in Tonypandy. We've been hugely invested in being a real anchor tenant in the town. You know, our head office is just up there, but also really walking the walk, I guess. So our head of social value actually chairs the Chamber of Trade here, and we've been invested in that for about 5 years. So really looking at what's on offer in the town, what are those existing businesses aspiring to in terms of growth, and making sure what we do here doesn't compete or detriment that in any way. And of course that does mean that we're not such a commercial animal as other private developers, but what we're doing here hopefully is the right thing for local people and local communities.
So in terms of the community, what do they say about this, or are they been behind you on this development?
We engaged with the community way before we even started designing this scheme. So we undertook a sense maker survey. So once we had that feedback, we were told, for example, the community really needed community facilities, hubs, places where they could connect with places like day centres and libraries closing in the locality. So as part of that, before we even started this scheme, we opened our Little Shed project across the road, which now is a community hub, and it's self-sustaining. It's run by third sector now, so we've set up for success. So we started that engagement. We then used that hub to talk to them about, okay, what could this site look like? What do you want on the old co-op site? So they're involved at that stage through the planning process. We also engaged Design Commission for Wales, was really part of their placemaking charter. So they've been involved throughout the whole design process. And then during the build, they've been invited to quarterly site visits, coming in and meeting the contractor, newsletters, so a huge amount of engagement. And what have they said? I guess what's been really different here is the site team and a lot of the staff involved in the project, myself included, are local people. And local people have been able to connect with other local people, and that has made a huge difference, especially to that kind of whole approach of we're doing with, not to.
And that came across with Willis, the construction, and they when I was talking to them earlier, they talked a lot about their local connections and their commitment to the area. I noticed in this scheme that there was a number of flats or some accommodation for people with additional learning needs. Could you just tell me a bit more about that?
From relatively early on in the design stage, we had worked closely with the local authority to identify were there any additional were there gaps, I guess, in their service provision, in their accommodation requirements for particular groups. And they identified to us that they had a vision of moving individuals with disabilities, particularly between the age group of sort of 19 to 25, into more sustainable locations where they could potentially then return to work, rehabilitate and access employment. They've been viable as a result of 2 funding streams. So the social housing grant for the upper floors and then housing with care fund for the lower floor. In society we build these specialist facilities which are great, but actually if we can incorporate everyone on one site, in one location, you know, it's so much nicer for the community. And going forward, upon completion of build, that will be managed by RCT Council, and they will allocate those homes to individuals who meet their needs criteria.
It came across with it in your talk this morning, isn't about build and leave, isn't it? I think
No.
there's a community being built here.
Absolutely. It's definitely one of those projects that we've all invested so much beyond just the buildings.